Hey everyone, and welcome to the Art of Online Marketing live show. Today I'm going to be talking about the Instagram algorithm. So my name is Denise Allison, for those of you who don't know me, and I help businesses grow with social media and live video. So if anyone's new here, let me know in the comments, type new, and I'll give you a little shout out. And so today I want to continue talking about Instagram, and it was really fitting that just a few days ago, Instagram revealed some of the secrets and some of the main factors of its algorithm. So I'm real excited to be talking about that today with all of you. I really like bringing you some news from the social media world. So that's what we'll be getting to today. And if you want to learn more about how to grow your business with Instagram, make sure you sign up for a free online training that I'll be hosting next week on June 14th. And that is Grow Your Business with Instagram, what every profitable entrepreneur needs to know. So if you're watching on Facebook, the link is right up there in the comments. And if you're watching this elsewhere, you can absolutely find it either in my bio or in the cover photo in my Facebook. Okay, so again, that's June 14th at noon Atlantic. So go ahead and sign up and you can learn more about growing your business with Instagram. Okay, so today's topic is how the algorithm works. Instagram reveals its secrets. So what happened is a few days ago, Instagram, they were at their new headquarters, supposedly in San Francisco, and they invited a whole bunch of media and reporters in. So Instagram is, of course, owned by Facebook. I think we know that. But during this meeting, they shared some of the factors that are weighed in your post that determine what you're going to see in your algorithm, in your newsfeed, I should say. And they also determine what of your posts that your followers are going to see. So the most important factors that they shared were interest, recency, and relationships. So up until about 2016, so summer 2016, Instagram was in reverse chronological order. So that means that the latest post that was put out there showed at the top, and then they just went down with the most recent after that. So when that was happening, there can be so much content that users were missing out on 70% of all posts, and they were missing out on 50% of their friends' posts. So Instagram decided that that wasn't good enough, and they were going to move over to an algorithm to make sure that users were seeing what was interesting to them instead of what was most recent. So in 2016, they moved to that, and so it hasn't been chronological. It's been based on an algorithm based on the actions that you take and the actions that your followers take. So that determines who's going to see your posts and what posts you see in your own newsfeed. So this really changed the user experience, and Instagram claims that users were seeing 90% of their friends' posts as opposed to 50%. So that to them was a big win, and they started to see an increased usership in the app. So even though there's tons of backlash among Instagram users, it really did improve the app for them. So Instagram shared some of their inner workings, and for years, a lot of social media platforms have been run by an algorithm, and I have shared with you how those work and how they affect you and your content and what you post. But up until now, those have been secrets. So while we could decipher a little bit on how things work based on experience and a little bit of information that these platforms are putting out there, it was still kind of just guessing. So Instagram will be the first platform to actually release, like, right from them what they weigh and what is important. So let's have a look at what those are. And thankfully, there's nothing in this that's going to be earth-shattering. Everything that I suspected and we suspected and that I shared with you in the past, it's pretty well on par with some of this. So don't worry. Everything's going to stay the same, but I am going to share with you exactly what they shared, and you'll be able to use this information to improve your Instagram and get more visibility and get more results with Instagram, because you know what they're looking for now. So, of course, everyone's newsfeed is different, and that is based on the actions that you take. So even if you and I followed exactly the same people, we would still see different posts in our feed based on the action we take. So liking a post, commenting on a post, being tagged together with people, those are all kinds of things that affect what you're going to see in your newsfeed. So the three main factors, again, were interest, recency, and relationship. So interest, that's kind of open to interpretation, but the algorithm is going to rank the post it's going to show you based on what it thinks you're going to like, based on the actions and the activity that you have taken in the past. And so they also rank if you liked a whole bunch of dog photos, which I may or may not have done, that it's going to show you other people's dog photos as well, because it's similar content. So that's kind of how it's ranked. They track basically everything you do. I'm sure it's in their terms and conditions, but they track what you do, and then they use this information to show you content that they believe you're gonna like based on those actions. Number two is recency. So they are not going back to a chronological type of feed, but recency is important. So you're more likely to see a newer post pop up at the top of your newsfeed than you are to see something that was posted a few days ago or a few weeks ago. So they do take that into consideration, but you still do see posts that were a few days ago, depending on the engagement that they've gotten in the feed. Okay, so the next one is relationships. So again, this is another place where they measure what you do, and they measure your interactions with other accounts. So if there are people that you're always commenting on and you're always liking their posts and you're tagged together in a whole bunch of posts, you're going to see their post more often than you're going to see other people's posts. So they do measure your relationships on Instagram, and they show you the content that they believe is coming from your friends. So the more you're interacting with certain posts, the more of those posts you are going to see. So that's why the same people keep popping up in your posts over and over again, and that is it. It's because you are interacting with them. So those are the three most important factors when it comes to the algorithm, as Instagram has shared with us. So again, interest, recency, and relationships. So there are a few other factors that they shared that really they help color the experience that you're going to have. So the first one is frequency. So how often you open Instagram is going to determine what you are seeing and how much you are seeing. So they're going to try to show you different posts from your last visit. So if you're like me and you open Instagram and you look a little bit and then you close it and you open the app up again, you're going to see a whole new slate of new things. You might be able to scroll down and end up back where you were, but you're going to, for the most part, see new things that Instagram has determined based on your relationships and recency and your interest, what you're going to see. So if you are following a ton of people, then the chances of you seeing everything are smaller. So if you're only following 100 people, you're more likely to see all of those types of posts than if you're following 2,000 people, because I mean, you have the same amount of posts that are showing up in your newsfeed and more people trying to get access to that. So the amount of people you're following has an impact on what you're going to see and what kind of pops up or not. And usage. So of course, how long you spend on Instagram is going to determine how much you're going to see. And they do say that if you keep scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down, you are going to see all of the posts. They're just not necessarily in a chronological order. But if you spend enough time looking for everything, you will find it all, they claim. Okay, so those are the three kind of secondary things that you need to know. So again, frequency, following, and usage. Now, so they also did a little bit of myth busting, because there are often some rumors and some myths that come along with Instagram and its algorithm, and so what they may or may not do. So TechCrunch is where I got these. In case anyone is wondering, they have a whole article because they are one of the media presidents. So this comes from them. I unfortunately was not invited to Instagram headquarters. I don't know why. But anyway, so we got the information anyway. So Instagram is not considering going back to a chronological order or reverse chronological order type of feed, because there's just too much content and they can't possibly show everything to everyone. And while we're on that, the more Instagram gets popular and the more people get on Instagram, the more this algorithm is going to be important, because you will be shown the posts of the people that are important to you. Instagram doesn't hide posts in its feed, so how it feels is you can post something and it doesn't necessarily show people, and that is absolutely kind of how it's working on Facebook, where you could post something and it's just legit not shown to your audience because there's so much content. But Instagram says they don't do that, they don't hide it, but you just need to keep scrolling and it might just not end up at the top of your feed like you want it to. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is, it doesn't really favor video or photo in the Instagram feed. It's not really giving weight to one of another in general, but it does pay attention to your activity. So if you are more interested in videos and you watch more videos and you comment and you like more videos, you're gonna see more videos. And if you interact more with photos, then you're going to see more of those. So it is really tailored to each person's interest. They don't give extra weight. So they don't give extra weight to users who are taking advantage of the story. So that has no bearing on how you show up in the algorithm. It does, obviously, if you don't do stories, you're not going to show up in stories, but it's not going to impact where you show up in the newsfeed itself. So stories is over here, newsfeed is over here. They kind of work in a parallel world, but by just engaging with the stories is not going to impact how much you're seen in your followers' news feeds. So if that's something you were thinking, they have said that that's not true and that's not happening. They say they don't downrank you if you post too frequently. So some people are saying, oh, if you post too much, you get less visibility. So they're saying that is not something that they are doing. Although if you post too frequently, it could be that your followers do get their news feeds get saturated by you, so they might interact less. So I still don't recommend posting multiple times a day. They don't decipher between personal accounts and business accounts, so they're not going to give you less visibility if you have switched over to a business account. So I know that was the concern of a lot of people saying, well, I don't want to switch to a business account because Instagram will show my posts to less people. That is not the case. And they are claiming that shadow banning is not a thing. So if you recall, there's this whole hoopla about being shadow banned if you use the wrong hashtags and too many hashtags and etc., etc. Instagram is saying that that is not a thing, and they're not like shadow banning your posts for using certain hashtags and the like. Okay. So that is what they have shared about their algorithm. So now, how do you take this information and implement it into your own Instagram strategy to make sure that your followers are actually seeing your posts and they consistently see your posts so that you can build those relationships with them? So it means you need to keep a few things in mind. And again, these are all related to interest, relationships, and recency. So Instagram is going to show users the posts that it believes are relevant to them. So you want to be really certain when you are creating your posts and writing in your captions and your comments that you are creating them in a way that is relevant to your ideal customers and to your target market. Because if Instagram doesn't see it as relevant to them based on the activities they've taken, they are less likely to show it to them. So you want to make sure that your posts are relevant and you're creating them with your ideal customers in mind. Number 2, relationship/engagement. So the algorithm is going to determine that you have a relationship with certain users based on the action each of you takes. So if you comment on a bunch of their posts and they comment on a bunch of your posts, then your posts are more likely to show up in their news feed when they open up the app. So you want to, one, make sure that your posts are encouraging engagement, but you also want to make sure you are engaging on their post as well, so that you can have that kind of back and forth. So you want to get your ideal customers to engage with your posts. That's important as well. And recency/consistency. So users are more likely to see posts that are more recent than posts from a few days ago or a week or two ago. So that means it's important to keep posting consistently. So while it is very important to have a quality over quantity mindset when it comes to this, because of the other parts that we've mentioned here, the other factors, those are all dependent on quality, but you do want to make sure that you're posting on a consistent basis to make sure that your posts keep popping up. Because if you have one great post, more people are going to see it, but as time goes on, the relevance declines because it's less recent. So you want to continue to put out quality content on a regular basis, and I generally tend to say 3 to 5 times a week is a good place to aim for. So having a strategy in place here is really important when it comes to getting results with Instagram. So those are the 3 most important factors. I listed them like 5 times, but let me just recap for you. They were interest, relationships, and recency. So keep those 3 things in mind when you're posting to Instagram. And for good measure, those are probably very similar on Facebook as well, for those of you creating content for Facebook. So if you want to learn more about using Instagram to grow your business, make sure you sign up for my online training that is happening next week on June 14th at noon Atlantic. And if you're watching this on Facebook, the link should be above. And if you're watching this on Instagram, the link is in my bio link. So go click over there and go sign up, and I'll see you all on Thursday, June 14th. And I will see everyone for another episode of The Art of Online Marketing next Tuesday at 10 a.m. And I'll be talking about Instagram Stories for Business Part 2. All right, everyone, have a great day.